Hello there, right here, and I'm joined by Activation.
Hello.
And guys, what you see behind us is an insanely fast basalt farm that is infinitely automatic. This thing produces over 144,000 basalt per hour. And as you can see, there's really not that much to it. There's a couple generators, a TNT duper, and a sweeper. So basalt is a new block that came out in the 1.16 Nether update. And you can find this naturally here in the Soul Sand Valley with these basalt pillars that generate throughout the biome, but you can now also generate it using this type of generator. We need to have soul soil on the bottom, we need to allow lava to flow over top of it, and then we need to have blue ice adjacent to that lava flowing. This will create a generator, what we got right here. This is actually an extremely fast one that we designed. And this will give these really cool basalt blocks, which you can rotate just like logs. There's also a polished variation. You can get that by either using a crafting table or a stone cutter. In crafting table, it is a 4x4 of normal basalt, and this will give you 4 polished basalt. Or with a stone cutter, you can put in your normal basalt, and then it will produce polished basalt in a 1-to-1 ratio as well. And the polished variation looks really cool with some nice textures. So the entire contraption consists of a little bit of redstone. There's actually not as much as you would think for such a fast device. Here is the entire thing, a little lookabout of it. There is essentially the same thing on 4 different sides, and these are generators pushing the basalt downwards and then inwards towards a TNT, which is blowing it up while the blocks of basalt are in block 36 form, essentially between being moved from 2 different locations. This makes them super easy to blow up, as basalt has a sort of high blast resistance, so we want to give them a low blast resistance. We can do this by having them in that block 36 form, which gives them a blast resistance of 0. All the items are being collected down here automatically with this flying sweeper, and all those basalts are being placed into these chests here, and you can see this thing is insanely fast. This farm will produce you more basalt than you'll ever know what to do with. You could probably sell it to your friends or something on the server, as this device can produce more blocks than most cobble generators. So this device was a collab between me and Activation, as well as we had viewers join us during the building process, and we did build this up during our snapshot testing stream, which was a lot of fun. We actually did almost a 7-hour live stream of building this as well as working on other farms. And Activation is going to go into more detail about the different parts, starting here at the generator.
So with the generator, if we come up here, there is a clock-based system, which can basically use the brain of all 4 of these generating based pulses. So if we come back over here, we have this machine right here where you can't even see the basalt generate, because this is on a 10 game tick timer, I guess clock, and since basalt can generate, or lava can flow every 10 game ticks, we have this system pretty much timed to the T. And right here we have 4 different things. Knowing that TNT takes 4 seconds to blow up, we have to make sure that this thing pulses once before that TNT explodes, and then the second time it pulses, it'll be in the same exact game tick that TNT explodes. So right down here is basically the head of the operation. So right here we have the basalt going down like so, and in this case, do you notice how this pulses before that TNT explodes, and then the next pulse it goes? It's controlled by this redstone torch right here. This redstone torch comes all the way up this torch line right up here, and it actually goes through this T flip-flop based circuitry, which will activate this duplicator that'll propel the TNT forward and back down over here.
So with this well-timed clock up here, it goes to all 4 segments, and since we can easily predict when the basalt generates, we don't really need to time anything else too precisely. We know that all the basalt is going to reach the bottom of each of these at the same time, and therefore it's going to activate this torch here, which is going to pulse it forward. And since once it gets synchronized, it's never going to go out of sync, we can really simplify the entire device here. And we know that every time it pushes down a full layer twice, that we want to activate the TNT once. So we just have a T flip-flop here, which is sort of like a binary counter. It counts to 2 and then it activates the TNT. This makes that redstone relatively simple. The only complex redstone is this clock here, which is the thing that's running the entire thing, and also turning it on as well as off without causing any problems. We want to make sure to turn it on. We want there to be a TNT that removes the majority of the basalt in the area. Otherwise, if you wait for the machine to dispense the TNT, which will happen after 2 more layers are introduced, it's going to be too close to the center and it will cause problems. So let's go ahead and turn this off. We have an off switch right here, and I can show you how it turns on as well as off. So the on switch, what it does is going to first turn on this sweeper here. That is just going to activate this observer, which is going to allow it to take off. And this is a sweeper that is bidirectional. So we'll fly this way, and we just have a bumper device here, which will activate it and send it back to this way. It'll also come up here and turn on this piston, which is going to extend, pushing the redstone block into this clock. This is just going to create a consistent pulse going here, which we use to remove the basalt from each of the generators. Pulse is also going to continue over here through this pulse extender, and then it's going to be put into this TNT duper, dropping the initial TNT to kind of clean out the chambers so it doesn't clog up later on. So let's go ahead and turn on. You guys can kind of see that happening. First thing it does, it goes over here and activates the TNT, and it went down there and dropped. Now when it comes time to turn off the entire device, we need to make sure that it turns off when there is no basalt in this pushing chamber. Otherwise it will not be synchronized with the rest of our systems. Since our systems are very simple, it really has to be timed perfectly. But this actually makes it quite simple to build the rest of redstone just by having it turn off properly. So we were able to do that by pulling a pulse from the same thing that activates the TNT. Essentially what we're doing is saying, hey, when the TNT activates, what we need to do is kind of shut off this entire clock. That way no more basalt is being formed. And we do this at a very precise time. And this is what this other piston here is doing, is trying to push the redstone block away, trying to turn it off. But currently, since it's on, it can't push it. So as soon as we remove the power to this piston, it can now push it back and turn it off. Every time some pulses are coming through here, trying to turn it off. But as soon as we go ahead and hit the switch, the machine is going to pulse this piston, and it's going to move that redstone block precisely timed so that there is no basalt in this area right here. That way we can easily start it up and count down 4 times, another 4 times, so 8 times of generating. Then it'll be equivalent to 1 TNT blowing up. So that's pretty much all the redstone that is up here doing. The majority is just extending the pulse that we're sticking into a clock to reach all of the generators. So we have one going to all 4 of these, and we don't have to have any delay or anything. It's near the center, so it can reach all of them without a problem. Actual generators consist of a piston which is pulling blocks out of the area where they're generated. So these are stickies. And then as soon as the power is removed from this torch, it will pull. And then what will happen is power will be sent to the top pistons, which will push downwards.
It is actually quite important that this piston, when the system turns off, that this piston actually is extended, which means this block is up here. It's actually very important in that case, because if it wasn't like that, then what would happen would be this system would pulse right here, turn on the duper, and then this system down here would turn on the duper, which is not good at all. So if it's like this state, like so, then the issue like that would be it would turn on the duper and 2 TNT would be launched, and we don't want
just like that
at all.
So you can see it can cause problems. And this is actually ghost blocks. This is just in this version. Some of these snapshot versions have problems with ghost blocks being created when explosion. So essentially, yeah, I'll put off 2 TNT, which can make the other one fly away. So the item collection is pretty simple. We just got a fly machine going back and forth. It has 2 really long extensions to kind of collect all the items. If I do F3 plus B, we can actually see the entities. They're getting dropped off on either side. And it does a really good job at easily pick up items here in the Nether dimension because we don't have water. And we have the floor made out of leaves, just a block that the slime blocks cannot connect to. You can use any other type of block that could also not connect to it. Once items are pushed over here, we have a set of hoppers inside of this railway. And essentially they're picking up the items and putting them down into the chest down below. If there happen to be one spot where it kind of gets a lot of items, then the hopper minecart above will pick up any extra items and kind of distribute them across. If one would happen to fill up completely with basalt, then it will easily be able to move it over into one that's not full. You can put any type of collection system that you want. We just have some chests that are collecting all the items. You do need quite a few hoppers, around almost 20 hoppers to keep up with this farm alone, just because it's so fast. Now, entire farm we built out of iron blocks, but you can build out whatever blocks you want to. Just keep in mind that places that have slabs are actually needed, where the place of solid blocks can be solid. Now, the reason why it is so fast, because we're building this here in another dimension, where lava travels 3 times as fast as in the overworld. You could build this up in the overworld, but it's about 3 times as slow. but then you have the advantage of using water to collect all the items. So if you guys don't want a really big design like this, we also have just one side, but it's 6 wide instead of 5 wide. So you guys can use this, and this is a little bit simpler, but it will still produce a lot of basalt, just a little over 1/4 the amount as that one. And activation is going to, just to give you a rundown of this.
We have the same exact clock we used on the other mechanism, and even with the other mechanism, we have this repeater right here. This is adding a 2 game tick pulse extender really quickly, so the basalt can actually pull and push in the same amount of time. And we basically just have the brain system like we have over there, if that makes sense, with the redstone line going up here into a simple monostable or T flip-flop. And it would just basically power the duplicator. So if we turn on the system, it will basically still pulse. Because this is not a 4-way system, we don't actually need the random amount of the other redstone line activating it. We just need this system right, because we do not have four machines ready to collide with each other. If you want a little bit more TNT efficiency, you could replace this block right here with a wither skeleton skull or any other skull. So it'll align with 0.5 of a block, exactly, or a stair. And you could actually get a little bit more TNT efficiency out of this machine.
That's because we are currently working with a even number of basalt here, where the TNT is centered on a odd number of blocks. You can kind of see it blows up here. So if it was kind of between the 2 blocks, it'd be a better job of blowing them up on both sides. The activation is going to turn off. And with this design, you need to make sure to remove any basalt that is down here inside of front of these pistons. Otherwise, it's going to affect it when you start it back up again. And we didn't put in a collection system. You guys put in your own collection system. You can use like a hopper minecart too if you want to pick up these items, because there's not going to be as many. So just with this little one, it'll produce around 36,000 items per hour, which is a lot of basalt. A very fast basalt farm, yet very elegantly designed. I had a lot of fun with all you guys during a snapshot stream designing up this farm as well as others. And hopefully guys, with this video you guys are able to see that you can actually design a very fast farm while not making it that complex. Speaking of simple setups, this is the simple player mining basalt farm that I designed. One of the ProtoTech members, Adam Shadow, actually noticed that I forgot to put in a piston here instead. I just had a repeater because I only had 4 game ticks between the 2 sides instead of the 5 that I wanted. If you guys don't know who Adam Shadow is, he is one of the ProtoTech members that is very knowledgeable about Minecraft when it comes down to the very precise timings of redstone and stuff like that. He also has a YouTube channel where he goes into detail about devices that are extremely fast. You guys should check him out. I'll link him down below. But now I just went ahead and just put that piston in. It's pretty much the exact same setup. Player stands here, you're being survival. You have efficiency 5 either on netherite or diamond. Also have a haste 2 beacon nearby. To turn on, you can put a switch here or a button, and you can just go ahead and clear this all out. Push the button, aim forward, and hold down right click. And then you just hold down your left click, and you can see how insanely fast this thing is. It produces 72,000 basalt per hour, which is the fastest that a player can actually mine. Notice how my pickaxe, you can see it kind of flying in front of my character. It never actually comes back up to the default state. So if I would stop, you kind of notice that pickaxe sits here. And you do have to start mining before the machine fills it with basalt. So notice if I would start mining now, that after I let the lava wait, you can see how my pickaxe comes back up to the default state. That means it's not actually being used all the time. If you run it like this, that's only half the speed. You can find the world download to this device in the description of that other video. Remember guys, go ahead and share this device with other Minecrafters. That is the best way to support me, as well as leaving a like on the video. If you'd like to see more types of automation and farms like this, Activation has his own YouTube channel, and he designed a couple different types of tree farms as well as other things. I'll link it down below. Make sure you guys hop on over there and subscribe to him. And I also set up an entire playlist so you guys can binge watch tons of different Minecraft machines that are complex. You can find that playlist down below. Make sure you guys are following me on my social media so you guys don't miss out when we do our live streams. If you guys like to build this up in your very own world, we have provided the world download down in the description. That way you guys can build it up block for block. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.